Who says you can't do a movie review at 7:30 in the morning? Who, who needs sleep? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a really fun couple of days here lately. It's been storming nonstop, so it's just been pretty hard to get a video with quality that's not lightning and thunder in the background and everything. I do have this background I found. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's an aquarium. I think it's kind of cool. I went back and I rewatched Sorcerer's Stone last week, and this week I'll rewatch Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is a 2002 film starring Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, Alan Rickman, Richard Harris, Maggie Smith, all those people. Once again directed by Chris Columbus, and once again composed by John Williams. This film from the get-go gets going a lot faster than the other film did. The Sorcerer's Stone did take some time to set up its world, set up its characters, really get things going, and by the 40-minute mark they were at Hogwarts. And it's similar pacing, but you spend less time in the non-magical world and more time in the magical world. You only get to see the Dursleys for about 10 minutes, and at the Dursleys' house in that first 10 minutes we're introduced to the character of Dobby. Dobby is the character that is the make-or-break character of this movie. He's essentially like Jar Jar Binks in Phantom Menace, but he's not Jar Jar Binks. Dobby is a full CGI character that when looked at isn't bad. The shadows and the highlights on him are pretty good. The effects of his, of Harry interacting with them are pretty good. Harry grabs his shirt at one point and it looks pretty good because in reality we all know he wasn't really grabbing anything. We also get more world building in this film. We get to see the Weasleys' house. We get to see how a magical family would live. We get to be introduced to Arthur and Molly Weasley. Ginny Weasley becomes a more important character in this. So in this film, Dobby comes to Harry's house to give him a message to say you cannot go back to Hogwarts. Really bad things are going to happen. He gets Harry in trouble, but the Weasleys break him out with their flying car. You get to see the Weasleys, you get introduced, and then they get their books and stuff from Diagon Alley. We get reintroduced to all the old characters: Hagrid, Hermione, Draco Malfoy, and Draco Malfoy's father, who's racist. He makes fun of the Weasleys for being poor, makes fun of Hermione for being Muggle-born. Then they're trying to get to Hogwarts, trying to get onto the platform, and then Harry and Ron are blocked off from the barrier so they can't get onto the train, so they steal the flying car, go to Hogwarts, crash land it into the tree known as the Whomping Willow. Snape yells at them. Very funny scene. We have some, mischief at Hogwarts as per usual, but then this mysterious message appears on the wall talking about the Chamber of Secrets has been opened. And this is where the main plot of the story flows through. What is Chamber of Secrets? What's in the Chamber of Secrets? And who's controlling the Chamber of Secrets? And that's the main mystery built around this film. And this film actually does a really good job of building around that mystery. The Sorcerer's Stone was a mystery, but a majority of the Sorcerer's Stone was about Harry being introduced to the magical wizarding world. This film sets up a mystery and spends a vast majority of its runtime trying to figure out what it actually is, what's actually going on, and it works in keeping you engaged as an audience member, and it keeps you wondering what it could actually be, because there are twists and turns around a lot of the corners. Richard Harris, this is his last film as Dumbledore. Richard Harris, I didn't touch upon it in my last video, but Richard Harris is a very fun Dumbledore. He's calm, he's got the cooling demeanor, like he's a very powerful guy, but he's just also just an old guy who just likes to chill out and just, he's good. He's a good guy. Once again, music is incredible. That goes without saying. It's John Williams, so if it's John Williams, it's gonna be good regardless. It's not just gonna be your average, everyday movie. The CGI once again is incorporated pretty well. Dobby, like I was talking about earlier, Dobby is good, and then later on, the Quidditch match looks better than the first one. It's like they had time to look at it and say, okay, this is what we can fix, this is what we can't fix. There's more dynamic angles that they can shoot from and everything. Still not sure why Harry is chasing around one of the chasers in the Quidditch match. Like, he's supposed to be looking for the snitch. Why is he interacting with the chasers in the first place? Harry facing the basilisk, some of that CG and some of it is like a giant puppet, and so the CG, it does look pretty good. One word to describe this film would be overdramatic. The acting in this film is good. It's not like a bad thing, but Looking at Daniel Radcliffe's performance, I think he was pushing for a more serious approach to it, and it came across as a little bit overdramatic. So Rupert Grint and Emma Watson come across as having built more seriously upon their character, but at times Daniel Radcliffe just seems like he's acting a little bit too much. Bonnie Wright, this is her first film that she's really in. She had like one line in The Sorcerer's Stone, so as Ginny, she's having to try to develop her character in the second film in the franchise, and she does a decently fine job of acting. A little bit, once again, a little bit over dramatic, but it's okay. Draco Malfoy has developed as a character in this film, not as a character who is. He's not just like a brat. He's also like a racist guy, and you see his dad, and you understand why he's the way he is. His dad is 10 times worse than he is. It doesn't change the fact that Draco Malfoy is a real dick in this movie. He calls Hermione a mudblood, and that becomes a really big recurring theme. Is blood pure? If you have Muggle parents, are you worth as much as if you had regular parents? It's this big issue. It basically is racism, and Harry Potter tackles racism in the second film. That's pretty brave for a kids' film to be trying to tackle something like that and present it in a way to where it still works within the universe and still works within the world, but still get kids to see, still get to have the same idea come across. Like nobody is better than anybody else just because they have certain blood or because they look a certain way or whatever it is. Like it's the same thing. You're all the same, and I like that. I like that. That's how they covered that. Lockhart in this film is awesome. Sadly, this is the only film we get to see Lockhart in, but Lockhart is so fun in this movie. He is pathetic. He is a loser. He's a coward. But he's so energetic and like charismatic at the same time. It's ridiculous. He is awesome, and that scene at the dueling club is one of the highlights of the film. You get Snape facing off against Lockhart. Snape just uses Expelliarmus, and it beats him pretty fast. And then you get Draco versus Harry, which is a little fun to see. Once again, a little bit over dramatic because these are basically 12-year-olds, and they make it seem like it's this big wizard battle. But it is really fun to see Harry and Draco face off because they have this rivalry going on, and the rivalry is much more apparent in this film than it is in the last film. I have to point out some of the flaws. It does seem a little bit like a rehashing of the first film. You look at the way Sorcerer's Stone plays out, this film almost beat for beat plays out the exact same way. And it's shot the same way, and that's okay. I mean, it's totally okay. I like consistency in films, but it does at times feel like I'm just watching the first one again with a different plot. I don't know if that made any sense, but that's what I thought of in my head. This film has got twists, it's got turns, it's got magic, it's got some scarier scenes. I know the spider scene scares a lot of people. I'm not a big spider fearful guy. I'm more of like snakes freak me out more than spiders, but it's got something for everybody in here. It's got comedy, it's got heart, and at the end of the day, it's still a fun kids film. I don't like it as much as The Sorcerer's Stone, but going back and watching it again, I can really appreciate some of the things that this film did good, which was build upon the world, add upon its characters, develop certain characters, and push forward the story in a fun direction where it's not just going to be the same thing over and over again. There are other things going towards this franchise other than just Harry's a wizard, Harry saves the day. There's more stuff going on, and this film really pushes it in that direction. I'm excited to watch the next film now. I'm excited to see how that film plays out, looking at it again after a couple of years of that. So stay tuned for that. I hope you all guys are all staying safe, staying healthy, and I don't know, get a Pepsi or something, just have a good time. I will see y'all later.